From being a nuisance in the eyes of the law, to becoming a marketing genius that has made an empire worth millions, Kyle Forgeard could be seen to be a troublemaker that has turned backlash into a brand, giving birth to Nelk and Full Send Entertainment with one of the most die-hard communities ever seen on the internet. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the history of Kyle Forgeard and how he was able to build this massive empire that rakes in millions every year. Kyle Forgeard is a YouTuber slash prankster and influencer. Born in Mississauga, Ontario in Canada. Not much is known about Kyle's early life, as he seems like a pretty private guy. However, from the intel we've gathered, we can tell that Kyle always had a passion for making videos on the internet, and through that passion, in 2010, he started the original Nelk Films YouTube channel alongside other founding members, Nico and Marco Martinovic and Lucas Gasparini. From a young age, Kyle has talked about how he was always into directing videos and always knew how to edit. From digging back onto the start of his channel, one of his first public videos posted shows Kyle's interviewing for a position at McDonald's, where he would troll the hiring manager for a whopping 4 minutes and 44 seconds. The video seemed to do really well, and he shortly followed it up by posting a video of him pretending to be a worker at that same McDonald's to show them that he had what it takes to be a real McDonald's employee.
You know what? This is the third time this week people don't know who I am. This is my third shift. I quit. You know what? I'm taking my mom. It's the worst job ever. I hate it.
Kyle also started catching some traction on YouTube, where he would be seen serenading old ladies in public, racking up 300,000 views at one point. Kyle saw that as an opportunity and took it one step further, where he would walk into college lectures and serenade the professors. All of this would happen within the year of 2014, where Kyle would eventually become friends with a guy who was also seeming to gain a lot of traction at the same time with his stunt TV show on MTV by the name of Jesse Sebastiani. The duo made their first video called Lit Me on Fire Prank. The video found quick success, and that's when Nelk seemed to find its spark. No pun.
I thought I saw you do it with your iPod.
That's my dad's sweater from the Holocaust.
I don't know, you kids and your apps these days, I don't know what they can do.
I didn't even touch you.
The two of them quickly moved to LA on a whim, and the duo seemed unstoppable, pulling off viral pranks like 7 ways to compliment boobs and the infamous Coke prank on cops. After their video went viral and garnered over 41 million views, Kyle and Jesse gained a massive following as well and made the decision to remain in LA. In 2017, the duo's breakout year began with significant online recognition. However, their sudden surge in popularity came with significant consequences. They were banned from filming videos in numerous parts of Canada and even expelled from college campuses due to their fans making it difficult for them to complete their pranks, such as fake employee pranks and sitting in at college lecture pranks.
So you're too famous to do your own pranks now?
I don't know about too famous, it's just like, yeah, it gets harder, I guess, when you get recognized in the stores now.
Yeah.
During their journey as pranksters, the duo were no strangers when it came to being on the wrong side of law enforcement, resulting in their arrests. In September of 2017, Kyle and Jesse were arrested for undisclosed reasons, in which they described their 24-hour experience in a jail cell and how they were treated like criminals. But soon after, the charges were dropped. The community showed strong support for Jesse and Kyle, saying, "Shout out to Kyle and Jesse for going to jail because they make bangers and make us laugh. You guys are no joke, man. You really care about your fans. To the extent that you're willing to go to f***ing jail just so you can make bangers for us. Mad respect, guys." With this response from the community, it was clearly shown how die-hard the Nelk fan base was. There was no stopping Kyle and Nelk's rise to fame, as in January 2018, Kyle and Jesse received YouTube's Gold Creator Award after their channel surpassed 1 million subscribers. As of now, that number has jumped to 7.69 million subscribers and 1.3 billion views. But being a prankster wasn't enough for Kyle, as he wanted to expand the Nelk empire to its fullest. They would eventually start selling their Full Send merchandise to the fanbase, and along with that, Kyle and Jesse started their entertainment company known as Full Send, which included the widely known Full Send podcast and other multiple channels. With the sudden rise to fame and becoming a staple in the pranking landscape, the Nelk empire has grown to massive proportions. But But with its problematic history, we ask the question, is Backlash good PR for the brand? And is Kyle responsible for his members' controversial actions? In February 2020, Nelk moved into a residence in Los Angeles, California, which they referred to as the Full Send House. The Nelk crew was growing faster than ever with new additions like Steve Will Do It, Salim the Dream, and Cousin Jay, as well as bringing on their now director of content and lead editor legend Osgod, who helped turn their videos into the masterpieces we see today. The brand was getting more diverse and unique. Kyle saw the potential growth of the Nelk brand by bringing creative and wild minds together. But things got out of hand when it came to making videos, as Kyle and several members of the Nelk crew were arrested in May of the same year for disturbing the peace at a Target store. They were later released on bond, but that's not the end of it, as the crew would have an arrest warrant out for them in March 2021 for causing a series of physical assaults at a group meet in Fort Worth, Texas. So saying Kyle has a dirty record is an understatement. However, he was always an entrepreneur at heart, and his success is the result of that. For any ordinary influencer, a track record like Kyle's would end their career in an instant. But for Nelk, Backlash was a part of their brand as more controversy brought in more views and even more followers. As typically, their arrests would have the community cheering the boys for their bravery and dedication to the content, leaving comments like, "This is what happens when you do real pranks and like other YouTubers. Respect to the boys for providing 10 out of 10 content." Later, Kyle launched several brands that expanded his image, driven by his "you only live once" mentality. On May 31st, 2021, he announced a collaboration with John Shahidi and his partner Steve to launch their own brand of hard seltzer called Happy Dad. The announcement video received an overwhelmingly amount of positive feedback. Many fans leaving comments like, "Warms my heart seeing a group of homies make it big, stick together and grow together. This is what all us want with our friends. The boys came a long way from doing prank vids in the old hometown. Proud of you." But as the saying goes, more money, more problems. And that was proven during the drama between Kyle and Bob Mannery. Bob was a business partner and co-host alongside Kyle in a Full Send podcast. Bob had experience in the sportscasting and comedic parodies landscape, which made him acquainted with many famous celebrities. Through those connections, both Kyle and Bob were able to invite celebrities like Dana White, Elon Musk, and even Donald Trump. But fans of the podcast shared common grips towards Bob, calling him a vibe killer and demanding him to be kicked out. Even from the initial premiere of the first Full Send podcast episode in August 2021, many people left comments like, "Bob has got to go. He doesn't seem like he's in it for the long term, just the short-term clout to trap birds. Bob kills the whole relaxed vibe of the podcast. Needs to be a relaxed environment where conversations just flow. Definitely not the right fit." People disliking Bob for his podcasting style was only the beginning, as things would get much worse between Kyle and Bob's relationship. During 2022, for quite a few episodes, Bob was nowhere to be seen during the Full Send podcast episodes, and fans began speculating. There were rumors going around that Bob had gone crazy at John Shahidi's wedding over his girlfriend at the time, and there was a break between Bob and the crew after the meltdown. Bob released his statement about what happened to him on his Ripper Magoo podcast, opening up against Kyle for allegedly being a shady businessman stealing his money and taking all credit when it came to the creation of the Full Send podcast, spewing allegations.
Kyle was just kind of like, I don't know. It's sad. It's sad. The whole thing, I think Bob thinks he got screwed over. No, I don't really think I got screwed over. I know I got screwed over.
You don't think any of that?
After months of allegations being thrown against him, Kyle came out with the receipts showing the contract in which Bob agreed to, and exposed Bob for telling lies, explaining that Bob Mannery was paid $1.2 million for 10 months of work on the show, and had made 30% of all ad revenue for the Full Send podcast, but never had any ownership in the show. But Kyle's call out wasn't the end of it, as Dana White himself would even roast Bob on his Instagram story, calling him an absolute puss and delusional, stating that he gave Bob $50,000 to shut him up about Kyle and telling him to move on. Even after that beatdown, Bob still doubled down in the Ripper Magoo podcast and stood his stance of Kyle owing him money.
Well, what about that money that went to John Shahidi? Was that I didn't know about? That money went to John Shahidi that I didn't know about.
But
No.
you signed a contract.
The contract doesn't involve John Shahidi.
This response made fans call out Bob, saying, Kyle built Nelk and Full Send from the ground up to something gigantic. Kyle put in all the effort. You, Bob, got drunk, partied, and think you deserve the world for showing Kyle how to run a podcast. The fact Bob fumbled bags from UFC, Barstool, and Full Send just tells you the real story. Unlike Bob, Kyle has moved on from the drama and has focused on expanding his brands and making content that the community enjoys. With this rapid business growth and a loyal fan base supporting him till the ends of the earth, Kyle Forgeard seems to be an untouchable man with his millions of followers by his side. But how long will Kyle's empire last? And how many more will try to take down his empire? Only time will tell.